Biden has taken it upon himself to try to push for marijuana to be dropped from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug, which is not, to be said, not the lowest schedule. I always thought there was only 3. Apparently, there's 5 schedules. I didn't actually recognize any of the drugs that were in Schedule 5. But, I mean, the ones that were in Schedule 4, in my mind, were all more... I mean, it depends. It varies, right? I hate to say that like drugs are worse for you than others, but the negative effects from cannabis are just so low compared to any other. I mean, nearly any other drug. I mean, you can die faster from water than you can cannabis. I mean, that's just a fact. You know, so it's a wild thing to just see that like he's just going to be like, yeah, we're just going to bring it down a couple steps. We're gonna make a big tussle. We're gonna drop it down from a 1 to a 3. This is the thing that government loves to do. They might as well just rename themselves to Throwing the Bone Co. I mean, this is what they do. They're like, okay, we're just gonna give you this bone. We're gonna hold it in front of your area. Like, hey, look at here. We're gonna do this. And then I guarantee you, this is not gonna happen. This is not going to happen because he's not going to do anything about it right now. He's not going to do anything about this before the election. Then the election's going to happen. Everyone's going to forget about this. And it's not going to matter because he's already doing the 4 years. And then people's lives can continue to get ruined. And this is the thing that fucking pisses me off about this clip that we're about to watch. Is he's like, we need to stop this. We can't let marijuana ruin it. Motherfucker, you were part of the commission. You were part of the bill that further made this like such a detrimental thing to people who are involved in this, either on the selling side or the consumption side of this product, of this drug, of cannabis. You're such an influential, instrumental part of it. You've been in government for like decades, and now while you're a senile old fuck, now you're gonna suggest not that we do the right thing, which is completely legalize it, because there's no reality where it's okay to even have somebody pay a fine for using a substance. This should not even, this is so immoral, so awful. How many people's lives are not even in terms of being jailed, but like fear of society, fear of like a job, right? Fear of like this social construct that has been created by government that then businesses feel like they have to follow. With drug tests, with things like this, just all these aspects of life that are just ruined by this. And this man has the audacity to just put on this show like, hey, we're gonna, hey, nobody should have to suffer from this thing that I did. Fucking retarded. Okay, anyways, let's just play this fucking thing.
This is monumental. Today, my administration took a major step to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug. It's an important move toward reversing long-standing inequities. Today's announcement builds on the work we've already done to pardon a record number of federal offenses for simple possession of marijuana. And it adds to the action we've taken to lift barriers to housing, employment, small business loans, and so much more for tens of thousands of Americans. Look, folks.
Okay. Let's go back. What did he say?
Offenses for simple possession.
He's simple possession of marijuana. What about all the other people who are in jail for selling it? Like, okay, so it's possessing it's now okay. But the person who just happens to have it and then sell it to other people and then use that money to like, you know, then forth like embark in the free market and help promote other businesses, help people, help their family, help other people, like, you know, eat. Yeah, like those people should still be in jail. This is the problem. It's like I said, they're fucking holding a bone in front of you. They're fucking holding a bone. He's not going to do anything. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this motherfucker will prove me wrong. Maybe it'll actually happen that it gets descheduled. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Like, the state of Iowa is not going to change. Like, their shit is not going to change from this getting dropped from a 1 to a 3. It's going to have almost no impact, if that even happens. But it's not even going to fucking happen.
For tens of thousands of Americans. Look, folks, no one should be in jail merely for using or possessing marijuana, period. Far too many lives have been upended because of failed approach to marijuana, and I'm committed to righting those wrongs. You have my word on it.
The wrongs that you created, dude. God, you have to love the government. You have to love the government years later, after the damage has been done from what they do, to just say, you know what, we should change this. My bad. And then never take the blame, like never have any consequences for what they did, ever. Like Joe Biden and his other government cohorts have ruined millions of lives because of what they have done with cannabis, and is awful. And the fact that they're not even going to just write a check and not even write a check, but just fucking check the box that says complete legalization, the right thing to do. You can look, I'm a complete, drug legalization advocate, but I think most people, almost everybody, can agree that there's no reason why cannabis specifically should be completely illegal. It's stupid. I mean, the entire logic of drug legalization is just shit on its face value, right? But when you apply it to like cannabis especially, it's just it's literally like saying, like, if you were to do that to coffee, if you were to be like, oh hey, you can go to jail for having coffee beans. I always reference Obbs, I guess that we've had several times on the podcast. His song "War on Mugs" makes a very correct correlation in my mind between coffee and cannabis. How these drugs really are fairly similar in terms of like their relative effect on the consumer. But one is like completely accepted in society. It's at work. At most work sites, there's a place where you don't even have to bring your own coffee, where the coffee's there, right? But if you went and smoked a joint out back, you could go to jail and be arrested. It's an insane correlation that we've created in society, where in my mind, when people should have the freedom to choose what they want to consume and put in their bodies, there's no reason why anybody should be able to come in and say you can't do this, you cannot, you can't do this, etc., whatever. So just the hypocrisy in President Biden's approach to this subject is just it's just appalling. It's disgusting. It's something that's not going to happen. I will say that I'm just going to fucking guess that nothing of this is going to happen. And then here's what he's going to do. It's not going to happen. And then they're just the entire establishment is just going to blame the other side when they're all in on the fucking gamut, right? They're all in on the jig. They know what's going on. This is theatrics. This is not a legitimate debate of ideas. This is them continuing to possess the control on their citizens. And with things like cannabis being illegal. And even if this has dropped a few schedules, the significance that's going to have on the population is going to be minimal at best. And it's just not really worth celebrating in my mind. It's like, okay, you gave your slaves cake once a week. Congratulations. They're still slaves.